So.
I just want a prop bet from Matt Affleck that you would mention your bracelet.
Really? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PokerNews Podcast. This is episode 826, coming to you from the WPT Voyage. I want to thank our sponsor real quick, WPT Global. We're going to get into that more later, but my co-host for this episode is a WPT champion, Tyler Patterson. Man, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chad. I'm excited to be here. This is a blast.
Yeah, this cruise, let's talk about it real quick. You've been having a good time?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a little too much.
I know. It's been a lot of fun. I was talking to Adam Pliska, the president of the WPT, earlier today, and he was just really impressed with how much everybody seems to be enjoying it and just kind of how unique of an experience this is.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie in poker all the time, but like seeing people do all this stuff off the felt together, dancing it up the other night. Last night was wild. Seeing the WPT crew, all the staffers jumping in the pool, their clothes on, and like it was a rager.
And aside from the partying, the poker, you got off the boat when we were in the Cayman Islands, and you got to play in Matt Savage's golf tournament.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a golf tournament. It was a tag team golf and poker tournament. So he set up the structure so that there's a format in golf where instead of you're still trying to get the lowest score, but you get points for pars, birdies, and bogeys.
Right.
And based on how many points you got that many more chips in the poker tournament. So it was 1,000 per point, basically. And so everybody started with at least 25,000, and then based on the points you got, the chip leader, I think, had like 45 or 50 to start the tournament.
And was it a random draw for partners, or did you sign up with a partner?
It was a random draw. So we had a night where on one of the dinner breaks, we all got together, the dinner break of the main event, we got together and did a random draw, but then we also had a gambling game called a Calcutta where we purchased teams once we had the teams announced. So there was a lot of gambling. So it was a fun vibe.
Who was your partner?
My partner's name was George James. He's from Toronto. He plays a little bit of poker. I think I handed mobbed him just to see if he plays any. And he had like 150,000 in career earnings or something. He plays some poker.
And then how'd you guys do?
We were right in the middle of the pack.
Okay.
And then he bubbled the final table of the. I couldn't play the poker part of it because I was still in the main event.
Right.
But he bubbled the final table. So I think they paid 6 spots. He was pretty close.
Nice. Let's talk about the WPT Voyage main event. 293 runners, which I think is a solid number. They had the $1 million guarantee, needed to get 200. I think everybody was pretty impressed that they got that many runners. And, what was your experience like in it, and how'd you do?
It was a blast. I mean, it felt like a real main event experience. Mm-hmm. It did have a little bit shorter levels than most main events because, we're packing it in on a 6-day cruise,
Right.
But it was still 40-minute levels, and then an hour on day 2. The vibe was incredible because the first day we played a full normal day starting at 10 or 11 a.m., but then day 2 started at 8 p.m. after we were already doing shore excursions all day.
Right.
It's a pretty wild experience. A lot of drinking. The atmosphere was a lot more bubbly than usual on a day 2 of a big event.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think a lot of people realize that the tournaments have to go around the cruise dynamics, if you will, right? So you have to be in international waters before cards can be in the air. And if the ship leaves a little late, that means that the tournament's going to leave a little late. When you're in port, the whole ship is done. It has to empty out, and people go on shore, like you said, and then you come back, and then you wait till you're in international waters again and then get to play. And hence, that's why it's set up the way it is. Yeah,
there's a lot of things they're putting together on the fly. There was an emergency on board. We had to dock to let someone off who had a heart attack, apparently. I don't know the details,
right.
But
I know that I just woke up this morning and I opened the blinds and I see land, like we're docked somewhere, and I knew we're not supposed to. This is supposed to be a day at sea, so I knew something was up.
Right. So, that had to push all the tournaments back. So all these guys were doing all this organizing on the fly, and it's been pretty smooth. I think registration was a little slow the first day. There was some big lines, but other than that, everything has been pretty great.
I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, and that is WPT Global. And we mentioned Rake, and right now WPT Global is doing no Rake in April. That's right. You go play your tournaments. All that money that you usually play in Rake is going towards the prize pool. So take advantage of that. It's happening right now through the end of April. You can download WPT Global on PokerNews.com, use a bonus code, and get a bonus. All right, let's play a little fun game, Tyler.
Okay.
I didn't tell you this in advance. I told you when you first sat down. This is going to be our first ever game on the PokerNews podcast of Which Fill Is It? We have 3 Phils in question, and we have them right here. We have Phil Locke, we have Phil Ivey, and we have Phil Hellmuth.
I would have got that right, all 3 of them. Yeah, I would have nailed it.
Well, it's getting a little more complicated than that. These are going to be your selections. We're going to set them down here. You're going to choose which one you think the answer is to the questions that I have written. Now, these questions are all based around high-stakes poker. All 3 of these guys have been on high-stakes poker. But here are your questions. We're going to see how many you can get right out of, I think there are 5 of them, 5 questions. So, first question is, which Phil appeared on Season 1 of High Stakes Poker? Only one of these guys was on Season 1, and you got to guess which one was it.
Wow, Season 1. I'm going to go... Jeez.
I think Season 1 was way back in 2008, I want to say. 2006, maybe sooner. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's not Hellmuth. I was certainly watching Season 1. I'm going to go with Phil Ivey.
The correct answer is Phil Hellmuth.
No!
Phil
That
Hellmuth.
was the only one I wouldn't have picked.
He was on Season 1. Yeah, Phil Ivey didn't actually debut until Season 4 of High Stakes Poker. All right, second question. Which Phil appeared on the current Season 12 of High Stakes Poker, with his last appearance before that being back in Season 7?
Wow, all the way back to Season 7. I think Ivey's played since then. I haven't seen the most recent episodes. I haven't seen any of the, what is it, like a resurgence? Like since it's come back,
yeah,
there was a big break.
Yeah, Poker Go.
Yeah, okay, so I haven't seen the Poker Go ones
all
yet.
right.
So I'm going to go with Phil Locke.
The answer is Phil Locke.
All right.
Yeah, we talked about that on an episode or 2 ago. Phil Locke back in the poker spotlight, and always good to see the Unabomber.
Yeah, absolutely. Was Jen Tilly involved too? Because she's pretty fun.
Yeah, she's been playing. She wasn't in that particular game, but she is a staple in the new iteration of High Stakes Poker, if you will.
Okay, big Jen Tilly fan here.
Yeah, me too. Next question. Which Phil was bluffed off Pocket Kings by Brad Booth in a big pot in Season 3? Oh, you snapped that one
Phil
off.
Ivey, I remember this spot.
I think that's the one where he said the cash just looks so sweet, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, you got two right, 1 wrong so far. Which Phil won a $500 per player bonus for winning a 7-deuce bonus in just the second televised hand of Season 4? So they're playing the 7-deuce game. This Phil, won the 7-deuce and got a $500 bonus from all the other players in just the second hand televised in Season 4.
Ivey?
Hellmuth.
Oh,
it was Hellmuth
man.
getting that extra $3,500.
I need to answer Hellmuth correctly one time.
All right, you're 2 for 2. You got one last question to get a passing grade. Which Phil has appeared on the most seasons of High Stakes Poker?
Well,
I'll give you a little hint. 2 of them have appeared on 4 seasons. 1 of them has appeared on 7 seasons.
7? Wow,
7
that's a lot.
seasons.
Jeez. All right, well, it's my last chance to get a Phil Hellmuth one right. I just want to hold the face up.
Well, Phil Hellmuth is doing you dirty because it is not him. Hellmuth was on seasons 1, 4, 6, and 8. Phil Ivey was on seasons 3, 6, 8, and 9, and it was Phil Locke. 7 seasons, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the aforementioned season 12 that he just returned to. Wow. So I'm sorry, Tyler, you only got 2 out of 5 right. You're not a Phil. You're not a Phil expert. All right. Thank you for being. You're the first ever to play Which Phil Said It. We're going to continue with that segment, I think. But yeah, we'll keep a leaderboard.
I like it. It's a good segment.
All right, we want to talk one last story, just kind of an offbeat story that happened while we've been on the WPT Voyage, and that was Mikki Mase. He's a character, we'll say, from Hustler Casino Live. He's appeared on the show many different times, and he was detained by police in LA after an incident that happened in the Chatsworth neighborhood of LA. There was apparently some fireworks that were mistaken for gunfire. The police came, full gear, guns, everything, and Mikki Mase and his crew were there, and really don't know what happened, but they're saying, no, we didn't have anything to do with it. It was probably fireworks. But what are you doing in this neighborhood anyways? Because it's not the one you live in. I don't know. There's video of it, too. They get put in handcuffs as they're getting questioned. They didn't get arrested or anything. So it just seems strange. And plus, fittingly, Mikki is wearing the Hustler Casino Live sweatshirt, which is, I don't know.
Great look.
Yeah,
great
just
look.
funny.
Sorry, Nick Vertucci.
Vertucci made light of it. He actually he tweeted, he said, this is definitely HCL's fault, too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's funny.
I don't know. What'd you make of this this whole thing?
It's not my world. I don't frequent the show. I've never played with Mickey Mase, but I did read the article, and he claimed that he heard the fireworks and said it wasn't even his fireworks, and I don't know. It didn't seem like that big a deal. I feel like he's all right, but it's still a poker headline that got maybe some news that isn't just in poker, so kind of interesting.
Yeah, Mickey Mase is like I said, he's like a character. He claims he can beat Baccarat.
I read that in the article. Yeah, he also has a lot of losses here in Hustler Casino Live.
Yeah, $900,000 in 9 appearances. So
right,
on average, losing $100K every time he goes on the show.
Okay, well, I mean, you don't even have to beat Baccarat to lose less than that. So maybe you stick to Baccarat.
Yeah, I don't know about. This one probably nothing will come of it. It was just one of those random wait, what now situations, and then the Hustler Casino Live sweatshirt just made it all the more entertaining.
That is really funny. I mean, we want to see some more Hustler Casino Live on cops and stuff.
Right.
It would be nice.
Actually, there is one last thing we got to talk about because this literally went live less than an hour ago. Press release went out from the WPT. They have announced their dates for this year's WPT World Championship at the Wynn. It is going to take place December 3rd through the 20th. There isn't a schedule yet. We don't know if there's going to be a massive guarantee or anything like that. They're just saying, save the date. But pretty exciting that they're going to run it back for the 3rd time at the Wynn.
Yeah, I love it. I love it that it's like a second marquee month long, not at the same time as the WSOP. And I would expect to see another giant guarantee. They like the headlines. And, they missed it by almost $2 million last year they gave away and honored it, of course. So.
Right. I like that they take chances. I mean, that was a chance, right? What we're on, the WPT Voyage, is a chance that they're taking. It wasn't cheap for them. I don't know what it was, but to charter a whole cruise ship.
There is no chance they're making money on this thing. So, but the player experience has been unreal. Everyone's loving it. So I would expect them to do this again if it's not super expensive. But the next time there's all the buzz that they're getting from it now, I imagine it'll sell out next time.
I agree. Yeah,
it'll be as many cabins as they want to sell, they'll be able to next time.
I agree with you. You looked at social media, what we've been on the ship. There's FOMO going around for people who didn't book. They're outside looking in. I think those sort of people would want to book, and I also think guys like you and I and everybody else down here is going to have so much fun. We're going to come back. If they do this again, I want to be here.
And the players that I know from Vegas that were kind of hesitant but made it are loving it. It's been a big, and the Rex too the people I don't know that are poker fans are here. They're loving every minute of it too. So.
I think it's twofold. It's not only the WPT product, but the WPT product in conjunction with Virgin Voyage. The brands align so clearly when it comes to the focus on their customer. And I think that just makes it all the better. And I've been on Norwegian Cruise Line. I've been on Royal Caribbean. They're great. They're fine. But somebody made this analogy. In Vegas, they're MGM Grand. They're fine. It's a fine property. I don't mind playing there. I go there from time to time. But in comparison, Virgin Voyage is Aria.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's sexier. The no kids thing is
right.
Nice. I mean, for a poker cruise anyway. And it's nice that they took over the whole thing. I've done poker cruises in the past where it's just a room on the ship, or a part of the ship.
Right.
And those are always fun, but having the whole thing is really a cool atmosphere.
Well, the winner of the WPT Voyage main event was Aram Ognian, and he won a seat into the WPT World Championship at the end of the year, so we know at least one guy that will be there. I'm sure the defending champ, Dan Sepio, who took it down last December for $5.3 million, will be there. He finished 5th in the main event and knocked me out on the way there. And I love Dan, but it was cool to see, as the reigning world champ, come here and have another good run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Dan fan also. Since you talked about yourself there, I'm also going to throw in there. I got 13th, so I was there in the end watching Dan work, and there was some spicy plays. I thought he played great late in the night, but didn't end up winning. But
yeah, what was the whole? So you got a 13th place run. That's deep. That's exciting.
Close.
Is it? Was there a bad beat? Did you just go card dead, dwindle, lose a flip?
Yeah, it was just, I was kind of a middle small stack most of the time, and then just lost a big queens versus ace kings. Kind of a boring hand, but
yeah,
it was was exciting to be there. It was really fun to be part of it because there was extra buzz, you know.
Yeah. Well, you win that hand, and who knows? Maybe it would have been you.
Yeah.
Winning a second. It would be a second WPT title, right?
Yeah.
What was the first?
It was about 10 years ago in Jacksonville when they had a bounty scramble.
Yeah, I remember the best bet bounty scramble.
Yeah.
10 years ago, like that's when I won my big win in the bracelet. Like 10 years ago, though, like seems like so long ago, but yet still so fresh. So
I just won a prop bet from Matt Affleck that you would mention your bracelet.
Really?
No, I made that up.
It's usually, it's usually a safe bet. But usually in Vegas, when we do the show with Kind of England and Mike Holtz in studio at Level 9 Studio, I have it on the as a prop. But
I haven't seen it on video. I listened to your show, but I've never.
The video aspect is pretty new. So new episodes every Friday on our YouTube channel. But people who want to just listen to it get that benefit as well. So cool. if they were watching this, they don't get to see you, holding up these pictures of Phil Hellmuth and what have you, but.
And I mean the WPT Prime Championship in the background. I don't know if you can see it on video, but it's pretty cool. Cool backdrop. Yeah,
we got a nice little setup here. So that is going to do it, though, for the 826th episode of the Poker News Podcast. This episode sponsored by WPT Global. Tyler Patterson, thank you so much for taking the time to be my guest co-host here. And good luck with the rest of the cruise. I hope you have some fun.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah. And we will be back next week in Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. Kind of England won't be there because she's going up to the Run Good Poker Series in Reno. But Mike Holtz will be with me, and we'll also get a third special fill-in guest. You'll just have to wait and see. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.